Okay, let's start here by making this a little easier to see. Actually, I'm going to seleccionar todo and ponerlo todo in the mismo font and make sure that it's also el mismo tamaño, same size. Let's see here, I'll try 14 point. And, okay, looks good. So, yo soy principiante para, we already did that, so I can click on this and get rid of those comments. Tú eres capaz de hacer un cuchillo. Good job there. I guess we did that in class. But, okay, starting from here, where we left off in class, yo digo guía práctica hacer un casa cuchillo. So here, I'm not exactly sure what you wanted to say in English. You're going to have to tell me. Okay. 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 ¿Quieres decir? What do you want to say in English? Because it's not exactly clear, but you did a great job with this. Guía práctica is practical guide, so that makes perfect sense. I'm glad that you were able to find that phrase. And then yo digo, so the way I read this now is I say, or tell, practical guide to make a hunting knife. Here, you would probably want to put the adjective behind the noun. Cuchillo is the noun. Casa means he hunts, it hunts, or she hunts. So what you really would actually want here is un cuchillo para cazar. And you can check your list that I gave you of the differences between por and para. Para means in order to hunt. So they'll use that a lot of the time in descriptions. So, un cuchillo para cazar. Let's try that. Tu necesidad, instrumento, hacer el cuchillo. Necesidad is a noun, a sustantivo, and I think what you wanted to say was you need. So, necesidad isn't a verb, so what you really want is the verb necesitar, and then being an AR regular verb, you would just want to conjugate that in the to form, which would be necesitas. Tú necesitas instrumento. And there, again, you need to have that accent mark over the U. Tú necesitas, you'll have to change that, instrumento para hacer un. So it looks like here you're about to list off several different things that you need. And it looks to me like what you're listing off aren't so much instruments as they are tools. So I've shown you guys this nifty little Chrome plugin before that allows you to look up things in word reference. So let's look up tool. And I actually have it set to Spanish English, and what I need is English Spanish. And I can see why you chose instrumento. That's perfectly reasonable. But really, it's more of a workman's tool. Do you see how that appears here? So what you really want is herramienta. So why don't you try and use herramienta? And actually, looking here, look at this. It actually mentions knife tool. Oh, but that's actually for doing computer stuff. But interesting, herramienta cuchillo is, it looks like maybe the cutting tool for when you're doing some different computer work. But you know, like a power tool, for example, would be an herramienta eléctrica. So try and use herramienta there. Just get out of there. Herramienta, and that's feminine. So it would be, you're going to want to say, tú necesitas, and it's not just one, actually, that you need. So you're probably going to want to say varias herramientas, which means various or several tools. And then I would put a colon after that. Or I guess you, not. But varias herramientas. And then what you want to say here is in order to make a knife. So again, you would insert para, which means in order to. And you're going to want to look over that handout that I gave you describing por and para. In order to make the knife, I guess there you'd really want to say a knife, so let's just change that to un cuchillo. And here, I guess, is when we could probably put in a colon. Why don't we put in a colon there? To sierra para metales, good. A saw for metals, metal saw, that works. Lima. Lima. I don't know what a lima is, but let's just check here. See what it says. Lima, when I think of Lima, the capital of Peru. Oh, a file. Yep, okay. So, that's a word that I didn't know. I'm glad I learned it. So, to sierra para metales, good. Una lima, you wanna put the article in front of that. So, a file. Taladradora. I kind of think that it's just taladro, but let's to say drill, but let's see here what it says. Drill. Taladradora or taladro. Okay, I can see why you said taladradora. Taladradora. Excuse me. That looks okay. You can keep it like that. I've heard taladro more often, but you can keep it like that. Una taladradora. You just want to add that in there. Y tornillo. Screw. Tornillo. You want a screwdriver? Is that what you want? I always think of a destornillador. Tornillo. Let's see what it says. Screw. Now, if you want a screw, I guess if you have the drill, then all you need is a screw, and not necessarily a screwdriver. I'm also wondering if you just need one screw. So let's just I'll put in a little reminder there for you. Do you just need one screw or various screws? Or is it a screw driver? Now, if you meant screw there, then just disregard the screwdriver thing. Okay, and then this next sentence. Tu necesidad, el fuego es muy, muy, muy calor. So again, the same issue with the needing a verb there and not a noun. Necesitas, that's the way to say you need un verbo, no un sustantivo. So you need a verb, not a noun. And so you can see where I'm getting this from. If you look at need, which is probably exactly what you did, need, and you search, necesidad is like a need, if you have a need. But to need is what you're really looking for, like to be able to say I need, you need, she needs, we need, they need. You're looking for a verb there. So you want this verb necesitar. And that's just a matter of making sure that when you look up these words all the time, you take the time to really look through the whole thing and make sure you're getting what you need. So, tú necesitas you need a very hot fire, right? So, what you actually want here, tú necesitas un fuego muy, muy caliente. Caliente. Calor is what we use when we want to say something like tengo calor, I am hot, or I have heat. Calor means heat, but caliente means hot. So that's the difference between a noun and an adjective. You want the adjective here. Tú necesitas un fuego muy, muy caliente. Good. A principio. Good. Just small little change. It's actually al principio. Elige. Good. Elige, which is actually in the command form, which I don't quite want you to use yet, but that's okay because you've actually done it correctly. Elige el cerrar. Elige el cerrar. Making me look up a lot of vocabulary words here, Hunter. I haven't seen a lot of these words because I'm not a knife maker or a metal worker. Oh, but, okay, you want, what you actually want is hacer. You've chosen a verb here, and you've gotten it right down here. You've chosen a verb, and what you need is a noun, and it just, so here you need it. Necesitas un sustantivo, no un verbo, not a verb, which is the exact opposite of before. So at the beginning, select the steel, el acero, like you did down here. And then you just need to be able to say, select the steel that you want, and just put in a que here. Que, that tú quieres. And you want to make sure that that has an accent mark over it. Ahí es muchos diferentes. Okay, so here you just need to make sure that, again, it's different from English. You want to say Probably, let's try not to make this too difficult. I'll just change it to, there are many different types of steel. How does that sound to you? If we use the English phrase, there are many different types of steel. So, there are, or there is I, una cosa, hay dos cosas. There's one thing, there are two things. That doesn't change based on plurality, which is one of the few verbs that doesn't change in Spanish. So, hay muchos, and you got the muchos, that was good. You just need to add diferentes. Again, you have to make that plural too. And then tipos, because there are many different types. So all of those things need to be plural. Muchos diferentes tipos, or muchos tipos diferentes, either one. Muchos diferentes tipos de acero. And that's just because you need the noun there. Acero is the noun for that. And acerar is a verb, which is not used very commonly. So here you want to capitalize this just like we would in English. Yo uso acero. And then because the 1095 is actually sort of an adjective describing the acero, I would put that after. And you may want to look that up. And you may even, it may even be something like el acero. Well, actually, it looks pretty good, but we may want to look that up. If you were going to be really, really technical, you'd want to look it up. But we can't spend all day long looking everything up. So this, to me, communicates the idea perfectly clearly. But again, I'm not a knife maker, so we'd want to double check that with an actual knife maker. We're doing a little more research online. So here, why don't we just say, to teach you something, yo uso este tipo. I use this type of acero. Yo uso este tipo de acero. This type of acero. I'm going to put that in bold just so that you remember that I did that and you look at it carefully. Porque, because. Good job, Hunter. Good. Porque es muy. I don't know what that word is. If you want to just say it's very cheap. Cheap is actually spelled like that. What you would want to use the word is es muy barato y muy fuerte. You don't need a comma there. Es muy barato y muy fuerte. Good job. And you can just put a period. So you will make a simple knife at first. So let's look at that. And since we don't, in class, know how to say will yet, we don't use the future tense, we do know how to say you are going to, remember? So, use that ir plus plus infinitive construction to say you are going to make. You are going to make. Vas a hacer un cuchillo sencillo al principio. At the beginning. Vas a hacer un cuchillo sencillo al principio. Good. 2, and I just want you to, one thing is just to fix all the way through this, is you need to put an accent mark over the 2 over the U and 2, because if you don't, it means your. So I'm not going to make a comment on every one, but you need to make that change on all these 2's where you want it to say you. So tú esas, you need, this is a spelling issue. Ortografía means spelling. Because if the accent mark goes over the E, then it's estas, and it means these. But what you want is estas. But let's make sure. Okay, no, it actually looks like that's not what you wanted to say at all. So I'll keep that comment there. But if you wanted to say this, you are going to mark on the steel the knife pattern. Again, you want that ir a construction. So you are going to mark. So if you get ir a plus the infinitive, and you want it in the 2 form, so vas a, and then to mark is marcar. Vas a marcar the pattern or the design. I like how you use design here. Vas a marcar, and then what you should do is el diseño, the design. Vas a marcar el diseño del cuchillo, of the knife, en el acero, on the steel. Does that make sense? Vas a marcar el diseño del cuchillo en el acero. Then next, tú puedes ahora forma el cuchillo. You can now shape the knife. The way that you would do that in Spanish is to say, now you can shape the knife. So try and translate it like this. Now you can shape the knife. So you want now, which is ahora, coma, tú puedes, you got that, great, tú puedes, but then if you have ahora, puedes, and then that's you can shape, you want that second verb to be in the infinitive and not conjugated. So forma, you can shape, and I can see what happened here. I bet you looked up shape and you found forma. But what that is a noun. A shape is a forma. But what you're looking for is to shape. So be conscious when you're looking up the word in English that you want, when you're looking for that Spanish word that you want, know whether you're looking for a verb or a noun. So, puedes formar. You can shape, because that first verb's in the conjugated form, then second verb's in the infinitive. Just like if you said, quieres caminar, you want to walk. Here it's, you can shape. Puedes formar. Ahora, puedes formar el cuchillo, which you got exactly right. So, great first step. Now, for fun, let's actually look at this site that you sent me, but I will do that off of the video because you obviously already have seen it. Alright, great job, Hunter. Muy buen trabajo. And cualquier pregunta, any question que tienes that you have, don't hesitate to llamarme, call me, or escribirme un correo electrónico, or send me a text message, however you'd like to do it. But definitely make some progress on this over the weekend. so that we can go over it in class on Tuesday. Great job!